Hello and welcome back to the 47th episode of the Rule of Two here on the C Cinema Reviews channel. And today we have Misa Sista with me as always.
That's right.
And of course this is a Star Wars show, because why wouldn't it be? Because Star Wars is the greatest franchise.
Okay.
Yeah. What do you think I was gonna say?
Well, it just seemed like you were stumbling there, like you didn't know what to say.
No. The greatest
really?
franchise.
Over Marvel?
Sure.
Well, it's just a question. They have more movies, and technically, I mean, maybe one would say more good movies.
Yeah, but no, Marvel doesn't have the love that Star Wars does.
Also, the iconic status is not there, so...
That's true, yeah. Marvel doesn't have the love. It has love. Yes, I would like the obviously people love the movies, people love the characters.
They don't have their own land.
They don't have the love.
Opening May 31st.
Yeah. But today, you guys, we're going to be doing a couple new comics came out. There's actually a bunch of new comics.
This one is a little old though, right?
I think last week. Something like that. We have some new comics. We're not going to review all the comics that I got. Because there's like 4 or 5 of them. But anyway, today we're doing the Star Wars Age of Republic Padme Amidala. Nibari is her actual last name. And we're doing the Star Wars Vader Dark Visions. So and then we're getting a real treat, because we're getting a review from not me, but Misa Sista.
Well, that's right.
We're getting a review from her on...
a book called Most Wanted.
Yeah, Star Wars Most Wanted. It's a young Han and Kira book that she read, which is great.
Yes.
It's great that, it's great. But anyway, we thank you very much for clicking on this video. We hope that you... we hope that you enjoy it. If you do,
yes,
hit the like button. If you want to see more in the future, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit the little bell to get notified. But anyway, let's get into it. What do you want to do first, Padme or Vader?
We can go with Vader.
We can go with
Vader.
Dark Visions number 1. This is my favorite one. This is my favorite issue that I have read today.
I have not read any.
I think it's amazing. We've read 2. What are you talking about?
Vader books.
Oh, Vader comics?
Yeah.
You totally read the Momin one.
Oh, that's true. Never mind. Scratch that. Was that forgettable.
Oh, ouch. But what do you think about... I think that this one is amazing. It's pretty much this kid on some planet who's going throughout his day, and then Vader shows up.
Okay, this comic is a great example of from a certain point of view, because from this kid's perspective, Vader is the knight in shining armor.
He's the Black Knight. He calls him the Black Knight with the flaming sword
and shining armor, who basically frees his people of what he calls a god.
And I thought it was so cool.
And it's just like, really, it depends on where you're standing in the galaxy, who is a hero and who is a villain. Yeah,
because so what happens is this kid lives on a planet that is, for the most part, like, not technologically advanced. They were. And then this thing that they call a god, which is like, it's
Ender?
this...
They call it
the Ender. It's like this huge beast. This really... It's like a galot.
The head looks like a shark almost.
It looks like something...
But it's got arms.
Yeah, it looks like something like Godzilla would fight, right? It's like this huge, like, kaiju or something like that. Beast that, like, destroyed all of their cities and took out all of their...
Yeah, they call it... Ender,
yeah. It woke up one day and just destroyed their cities and, like, So they have to live in tunnels.
For most of the year, they do have like
this thing called a slumber, which is, I guess, when
where they can come out.
Where they can go out and you have fresh fruit and see the sun. So I guess they call it the slumber because the beast sleeps during that time or whatever. But it's like, it's a really cool concept. It's like what if Godzilla was bad? He would just like destroy everything, right? He would just destroy everything, and then like people would just go underground, and then that's what they do. And it's pretty awesome because it's like at the same time that this kid, the end of the slumber is going on, there's a space battle going on above his planet, between the rebellion and the Empire, and Darth Vader's ship gets damaged, and so he can't make it back through the battle to his Star Destroyer. To his Star Destroyer, and so he had to crash land on the planet. And it's pretty amazing because it's like this kid is telling, he's like narrating his day, and then he just sees this fireball come down.
That's what he calls it, a fireball, and everything is very like,
it's very medieval, which is great.
Yeah, the way he describes the Star Destroyer coming in,
it's like it's another god, you know.
Yeah, it's like so, I mean,
it's amazing because this kid has never seen anything that big that wasn't this, this creature.
Definitely trying to like narrate a movie here.
Yeah, this kid is amazing, and the way he describes like Vader like kicking out the door of his TIE fighter and then just walking out and being the Black Knight. And then like even while he's talking about that Vader coming out, he's like, maybe this is our savior, Right. And then Vader literally steps out of his X-Wing, and then the Ender is right there, and it wakes up, and it's just like, dude. And it's very almost like, it paints Vader as this hero, this like Herculean guy who overcomes this god of a creature. And it's really, I personally think that it's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, the artwork is obviously great. I think the writing is great with the way it's just like sort of narration. Vader doesn't really say very much except for like
one line or so.
I think he says, "I guess the Force is with you" or something to the boy.
Yeah, but it paints Vader as this like mythical hero, which is amazing. Yeah. It's amazing because it's like you don't really see that of Vader, This is the type of thing I would love for them to do with Luke. After they're done with the Vader Dark Visions, I would love for them to do this kind of thing
build
with
up
Luke. Build up his legend.
Which they did in the book Legend.
In the Legends of Luke Skywalker. But this one, it's like he literally rides an animal that looks like a horse, and he's just got like his cape bellowing in the wind, and his lightsaber. Yeah, his lightsaber ignited, and he's just like riding this thing like it's a horse, and it looked great because it totally goes with the medieval impact of it. And I think that the writing is really, really clever because of what the kid says, as far as like during the battle he's like, this guy could be our savior, right? And the artwork is obviously amazing. There's this one shot where just his entire face is just like black, and then his eyes are like lit up. It's great. But like he talks about Vader being their savior maybe, and how he's supposed to be there to watch it, to tell the story. Right. And it's great. And then it's like when the monster like hits Vader, like literally like smacks him and then grabs him, he's like, oh, maybe not. And then Vader comes back and does it, and it's just like, it's kind of like a meta thing, because it's like Anakin was supposed to be the savior, and then he went bad, and it was like, maybe not. And then at the end, it was like, okay. So it's really like, to me, it was really cool just to see that, and to see, it's all, for me, I'm a sucker for people telling stories and things looking cool, and this is just like a cool story with cool visuals. I personally really like this one, and it looks like this run of Dark Visions is going to be like stories of Vader, just like not one through line of a story. It just looks like it's going to be like 5 one-shots of Vader, of maybe people telling stories about Vader and how he shows up and is cool and awesome.
Wow, number 3 is like Vader's got a girlfriend. Yeah, no, I definitely liked it.
Yeah. I thought it was for me. It was pretty great.
I always like those from a certain point of view type things. So, yeah, it was interesting to read and just to see how other people view Vader because,
yeah,
I mean, the first time you ever see him on screen, there's the music behind him and there's this whole thing.
Bad guy.
He's the bad guy. This is the ultimate bad guy. Yeah. And now he's so iconic and all of that. Everyone tries to, copy him or whatever, but this is showing him in a different light.
He's this world's savior.
Yeah.
He killed the beast that was ravaging their land. Now maybe they can, get back to the surface. They can build up their cities. They can figure out technology again.
Exactly.
It would be pretty cool to see. But I like this panel with Vader riding the horse creature because it's a black horse with red eyes and it just goes so well with him.
It's not actually a horse. There are 4 eyes and horns on this horse-looking thing.
Yeah. We'll call it Vader's horse, and you see him using his offhand, and it totally that he's using the Force to control the beast.
Yeah,
that's pretty great. It's pretty great.
Isn't that something that we get in the
Bane books?
Books, yeah.
It's every little bit of old legends they can throw into canon is all good, But I think this is great, you guys. I think that you should go pick this up for $5. I think it's a really good story.
Yeah, go support your comic book stores.
Yeah, go get it. For $5, it's a really cool story. It paints lighter in a really awesome fashion. It's a complete.
You definitely said like ladder or something.
Oh, I'm sorry. It paints Vader in a really cool vision, and it's a great story. It's a complete story, so it's not like you have to go get the next one to get the ending of it. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think it's pretty cool just to like have on your.
I would definitely say that this is a good read, and if someone was looking for
there's some
more
really
Vader,
cool, yeah,
this is definitely
with some cool imagery and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the
author?
Who's the artist? Where does it say the artist? You don't have it?
You've got like a variant.
Totally got like a variant one.
Cover and it doesn't say.
I'm assuming that Hopeless is the writer.
What a name.
And then, especially for a Vader comic, Villanelli and Piranto might be the artists. I'm not sure.
Maybe like the artist and then the colorist.
Yeah, Hopeless, Villanelli, and Piranto. You guys did a great job of writing and drawing and coloring. It looks really cool.
That's weird that it's not anyway, from Vader to his waifu.
What a transition. Anyway, go pick that one up, you guys. It's great. Yes, Padme Amidala, Star Wars Age of Republic. This one is called Bridge. And Jody Hauser did this one. Corey Smith and Wilton Santos are the artists. So probably, I think this one is definitely the more diplomatic of the two.
Oh yeah, obviously.
It's.
We do get a little smoochy smooch at the beginning.
We do, yes. Anakin is in the beginning, and they're like It's funny because when you first see them, they're walking together, obviously, but they're walking like 4 feet apart, and it's just
it's like that awkward. Like, are they together, or is he lingering, or is she, And
then they kiss literally the next page. Oh, there we go. Oh, okay, so the Hopeless is not...
It's not his or her.
His or her. Dennis, Hallam. Villanelli is the artist. Yeah, and then Piranto.
And then the colorist, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, who has a Dennis
surname?
Hopeless
Hallam. Anyway, yes, Padme.
This guy's like a WWE wrestler.
Good job to them. It looks and is great.
Yeah.
But Padme, this is very interesting because right now we are reading the Queen's Shadow book.
And one of these handmaidens, I was like, I do not recognize that name.
Yeah. We're reading the Queen's Handmaiden, or Queen's Shadow book, which is the Padme Amidala book, which came out last week. And so it's pretty cool to just get Padme and then some more Padme. And I like it. I do. I think it's emulating of her character.
She does a similar thing here, going to a neutral system.
Yeah.
To a neutral world, in order to sort of try and get them on her side, the Republic side, and she's doing the same thing here, going to this world.
Claybron.
Yeah.
Clabron?
Sure.
One of the two.
So she does something like this in Clone Wars. So, I mean, it was a similar story. Mm-hmm. It's a story, or a familiar one that I had sort of thought about before. But, I mean, this is just showing Padme she's willing to break the rules in order to, you know, sort of keep the rules, I guess. Or whatever we want to call it.
Yeah, it's cool, and it definitely, that, like, the story group was like, hey, get the handmaidens in there.
Yeah.
To be along the lines of the book as well.
Exactly.
Which is that's something I commend Star Wars and those people on.
Putting a little connective tissue, even though one of them, I don't know who she is.
Yeah.
And
well,
maybe she might come in later.
Maybe. But she gets shot.
Yeah, she gets
shot.
But she's fine. She's totally
Mote gets shot.
But it's okay.
It's okay. I definitely agree with that.
I wouldn't say. I mean, the art is obviously good. She doesn't look that much like Natalie Portman, which is fine.
Yeah.
And Dorme definitely does not look like, what's her name, Rosamund Pike or something.
No.
Who's the lady that plays her in the thing? She's the Australian accent.
Yeah.
Actress.
I don't remember.
Anyway, it's fine. I wouldn't.
That's a very fair assessment. I don't think that it's.
I would say if you want to read this, check with your friends if they have it, so you can borrow it before you go out and buy it.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's a fine story. It's kind of like, to me, it would be like one of those things in Clone Wars that just like carries you over. It's like one of the episodes in Clone Wars that would carry you from one nice long story arc to another. It's kind of just a filler one. It's okay. It's like diplomatic and all that good stuff.
Typical of Padme.
Yeah.
We do get a bounty hunter, which I've never seen before. Maybe. I think it's a lady.
It is. They say her name over there in the next one.
Yeah.
Liz Mullis. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought she killed her, but I guess
no.
Not.
It looks like she did.
Yeah, definitely. Smoking hole. Whatever happened to, like, the stun?
No.
They just don't care.
No.
We're just gonna shoot you. Or Padme doesn't
Well,
care.
she did. This assassin did take a shot at her and hit her handmaiden, so.
That's true.
Get a little bit of revenge there.
Yeah. There are some similarities between her and Leia, I would say, which are kind of nice to see. I think she said one thing at one point, which I can't remember now, but it was similar to something Leia had said.
Right. I think it's okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's not the greatest thing ever. I am super excited though for the Star Wars Age of Rebellion stuff. Cause they start coming out next month. Well, they're gonna do Leia. I have that one. Yeah. We have the General Grievous one. Maybe
you're talking about these.
Yeah. Okay. I have the General Grievous one. Maybe we'll do we'll do that one next week. But we're gonna get a Leia one. We're gonna get a Tarkin one. We're gonna get the Age of Rebellion special, which is gonna have Yoda. Looks like Wedge is in there. And IG-88. Is that Wedge and then Porkins?
I have not a clue.
Okay, well, Wedge is in there, which is a great thing.
You sure?
Is that Wedge or Biggs?
It has a mustache.
Oh, that might be Biggs. Okay. Well, hopefully Wedge is in there as well, because they're both pilots, obviously. So, the more Wedge we can get, the better,
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really excited for that. Padme Amidala, though.
Is this a variant cover? Oh, it is.
Yeah.
I like this outfit of Padme.
Padme Amidala is
How do you like this outfit?
It's
the purple one that she wears in...
To the wedding? No, not the wedding. She wears it in the Senate, right?
Yeah, I think so. She's got like this choker that also coordinates with her head, her hair piece. Or something. Oh, it's when her and Anakin first come together again. When they go to like protect her or whatever.
Episode 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So just for.
It's a good story. It's not the greatest.
It's not blow your socks off. It's solid.
No, it's solid. It's nice. It's nice. But yeah, that's our thoughts on the Padme Amidala book and the Vader Dark Visions issue 1. Tell us what you guys think about them in the comment section down below. If you read them, if you haven't read them, tell us if you're gonna read them. Tell us what you think about our thoughts, your thoughts, really. Whatever you want. Mm-hmm. We just like to have a discussion with you guys about Star Wars because it's great. But now for the main event, we get a first hand review from Misa Sista on Star Wars Most Wanted. Take it away by Ray Carson.
I was totally gonna say that, but okay. So this is basically not quite how. It doesn't come up to the movie Solo. Mm-hmm. It's definitely before then because there's no like lovey-dovey stuff.
Oh. At the beginning you're talking about.
At the beginning of the book, no. Oh. So this is a little bit older. It came out May 25th, 2018. And the only reason I read it was because it was at the library, and so...
That makes sense.
Yeah, but it's just a nice little story. You see how Kira gets that sweet outfit she has at the beginning of the movie, the flight jacket or whatever we're calling it, red, and then black skirt.
The cool stuff.
Yeah, and... Han, whatever.
Han.
Yeah, he just wears whatever. But, so like this book kind of, it shows a little bit of who they are before they even like know each other that well. But it's basically
so they're trying to figure each other out.
Yeah, exactly. They're like 2 of the 4 oldest what they call scrum rats in the White Worm sort of gang. And so they're all competing, all 4 of them are competing for the job of head.
Oh, head scrum rat.
Because the last one, died under mysterious circumstances. so they're all competing, and basically, what's her name? Who's the big one? Lady Proxima. She sends both Kira and Han on a mission, and she basically tells them both without telling the other one that if this mission goes well for you, you will be head.
Oh.
So it's one of those things.
Oh.
Obviously, it goes bad.
Oh, no, okay.
So they're on the run from everybody.
That's why they call them Most Wanted.
Yeah. So basically, there is a person who is a sort of runaway, what are we calling it, from the Empire? A
fugitive.
Sure. And she's called the Engineer. And she has some kind of, what are those things that go around ships? My words today.
Like a shield?
Yeah, a shield, but that can be sort of transferred from ship to ship. It's like portable.
Huh.
And so she created it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And so she went to Corellia, where Han and Kira are, to basically sell it. So there is the droid Gotra, there are the White Worms, and there's the Caldana Syndicate. Okay. And so they're all bidding on it, and Kira goes to the bid. Like, that's her job. And then Han's job is basically to get the little hard drive where it is. So once they find out what the bids are, whoever has the highest bid, the person gives it to that sort of gang. And obviously it goes wrong because Kira, the droid Gotra gives the highest bid, and the Caldana Syndicate doesn't like that, basically. So they shoot up the whole place, killing people. Obviously not Kira or Han die, but things go bad for both, and Han ends up, obviously, because Han knows how to do things, he ends up with the cube or whatever, and they call one of their friends, one of the other 4 scrum rats, and who has a data pad.
Oh, yes.
So that's how they sort of get in and learn about what it is, basically.
Yeah.
And so the book is basically about them being on the run from the White Worms, the Caldana Syndicate. Not really the Droid Gotra, because Han knew the Droid Gotra guy, and so he was cool with it. Yeah. So, I mean,
we're good.
But the book really highlights Kira's, like, need and, like, her talent for planning things. And it really highlights Han's
talent for not planning.
Exactly. Just like sort of flying by the seat of his pants, you know?
Right.
And it works for them. Like, they really exchange places all the time. Like, certain times when they meet a Wookiee, or they're trying to go get a Wookiee out of prison. At the beginning of that mission, basically Han has to worm his way into things by acting super, Han. But then it's Kira whose plan comes in the end to sort of get them out and all this stuff. So it really works the book really highlights the best parts of them. But it also shows that, like, none of them trust each other, really.
Right. That makes sense. You mean, like, none of them as far as, like, Han and Kira don't really trust each other either? Okay.
Or their friend, he's a Rhodian.
By the end of it, spoilers, a little bit of spoilers. By the end of it, are they lovey-dovey?
Han, well, Kira becomes head.
Okay.
And so they sit down to eat together at the end, and Han sort of says, "Is this a date?" And she goes, "No." And then he's like, "Someday?" And she's like, "Someday." And that's basically as far as it goes. I mean, they hold hands, like, once.
They held hands. It's official.
They end up going off planet to meet the engineer, because they have the cube, obviously. And the engineer is really cool, actually. She has it in with some stormtroopers as well. So Kira and the Rhodian and Han, they sort of get trapped by these stormtroopers, and then they're just like, "The engineer wants to meet you." And it's like, what?
Yeah, nice.
So she has it in with some of them, but she's very careful, and she's in a yacht and stuff. So they get to go up and sort of taste the high life, basically.
Okay.
Which, I mean, for Kira, she's like, "I'm going to have this one day."
Right. Yeah.
And so you kind of see the wheels turning in her head. So as far as, like, all of what she becomes, you know? And she's very willing, like, to just knock people off.
Nice.
Because this is about her survival.
Pew pew.
Exactly. And
It's a hard
Han
knock
very
life.
much gets in the way of that.
Nice.
Because even when his friend Tool, the droid, gets hurt, like, he's genuinely sad about it.
Yeah.
Like, and also, he's got a soft spot in his heart for people he cares about. And she can't really understand that for the most part. But she does open up by the end. They are friends, definitely. But there is a death, and so you get a little bit of, yeah, Han, like, does a
no
gruntled yes, a gruntled no. And, I mean, it's a good little book. I would say definitely go to your library and check it out.
Yeah. Okay. So, like, let's go on a score from this would be dumb. I was gonna be like, on a score from A wing to Y wing. What are we doing
so
here? But it's like, how do you
Yeah, I have no idea.
So, like, okay, that makes sense. I think that it's, like, I was interested in it, and then I was like, nah.
No, I get it. It's definitely not, like, a big deal.
Oh, no, big deal.
It's just a small story, sort of, like, just starting the wheels of Han and Kira and what they are and who they are to each other and by themselves, really. Han has a speeder. It has no engine. And Kira kind of makes fun of it, and he gets real defensive. And she's like, I'm pretty sure she calls it a piece of junk, but nice. he's very Han about it. It's his ship.
Yeah.
But Yeah, they start out as very like closed people. Even like, well, Han seems very open, but Kira kind of knows that he uses his charisma and his like ability to speak to sort of pretend that he's an open book while not actually being one.
Right.
Like she has this whole inner monologue at the very beginning talking about like how everyone has to be careful around Han because he can really get you to open up by making you his friend. And like he just knows how to
by
like work with people. Yeah. So like even when she talks to him in that same setting, she's like, and now I'm going to do this because he's trying to get me to go here. And so I have to make sure that I stay this way so that he won't get me to open up about these things. So she hasn't figured out. But at the same time, Han even tells her at some point, hey, I know you're the biggest competition in here. Like, you pretend to be not that big of a deal, but you are. You're my biggest competition.
Listen, big deal.
So they definitely know each other more than they want to like admit.
Yeah. I mean, that's interesting. Yeah.
At the beginning, and then at the end, obviously they do know.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. Do we see any of the other characters from the movie?
Besides Lady Proxima, we see one of the other scrum rats is the hounds. The guy with the hounds.
Guy with the hounds. Okay.
Those are his. Yeah,
that's cool. I mean, they didn't spend much time on Corellia anyways. I get it. Right.
Yeah, I would say that's about it. But it's definitely
is the Empire? Do they have like a strong presence on Corellia?
Yes, and even more since the engineer gets there because they tracked her there.
Right. Okay.
So there is that sort of heightened, like when Kira's mission goes awry, stormtroopers are after her as well.
Okay.
So
that's pretty cool.
But you do kind of feel because it really paints them in a light that's not great, where they have to live, like, they like the dog biscuits more than they like their own food. Like, the stuff they have to eat is basically like...
No bueno.
No bueno.
No bueno
They have to eat, like, rat meat in their stuff, and that's, like, a step up.
Nice.
So, they're running through, like, sewers and stuff all the time.
Yeah.
And it's very, like...
So Han must have loved it being with Princess Leia.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh, my goodness. Dude was in heaven.
And, I mean, Kira, too, with the... What are they called?
Dryden Voss.
Yeah. What is that syndicate called?
The Red Sun.
Yeah. So, I mean, the movie did a good job, but you didn't, like, live in that place for too long. So you didn't really get that range, but this really helps you know, like, exactly what they were dealing with in the way they describe it and everything.
Okay.
It's a nice little book if you have, like...
If you have some time, yeah.
2 weeks or whatever.
Yeah.
It's not long, and I don't know if this matters, but the lettering is big, so it's a short book.
The type is large.
Yeah. So, I mean, I like it. I like I think his name is Tsulo, the Rhodian. He's a good character. He's the first one to be like, we are friends, you know? He doesn't speak basic, but yeah, I liked it a lot.
That's good. I'm not going to ask for a score. If just, you liked it, that's good enough for me.
I would say get it at the library. It's not one that maybe you should be spending your money on.
Right. It's not one to put on your shelf with your Bane trilogy and...
Right, it's just a nice little fun book to sort of read if you want to flesh out those characters a little bit more.
Right. That makes sense.
So.
Yeah.
And especially the Kira and Han relationship. So.
Okay. Well, thank you for your review.
Sure. I have a hard time, like, talking about the plot because I'm usually all over the place with it. Like, movies, books, shows, whatever. Yeah. I'm just like, and then this happened. But
that's cool.
But I liked this book, and I was happy to read it, so...
That's cool.
I think the author did a good job of, like, being in the world of Star Wars, which I think is really hard for some.
Yeah, it's difficult, yeah.
Like, obviously, we know Claudia Gray is the queen of Star Wars, living in that world.
Yes.
and you could even say Timothy's on, except for that hot chocolate bit. But but I think Ray Carson definitely did a good job of like living in that world and not making it like too human or too. I would say like the only time that I was like, huh, is they said dogs like twice, and I was like, George Lucas said there's no dogs in Star Wars, but they were quick to be like, these are not dogs, these are hounds.
Yeah,
and I was like, okay.
It's like, yeah, and all the nerds stand up and cheer.
Yeah, exactly. So I think she did a good job.
That's good.
And I wouldn't mind her coming back to the Star Wars universe.
Yeah. Do you think she got Han? His playful antics.
I do. I mean, he has to deal with some tough stuff in here, so I felt like he was who he was even in those like dark moments as well. But he's Han. He's like,
yeah,
he gets a really bad burn in this book, and so like his face is like peeling at the very end, like apparently it's peeling off. Ugh. I know, but he doesn't really like care about it or anything. He's just like, oh, my face is itchy. So he's I think she gets on. Obviously he's much younger.
Yeah. That's cool. Thank you for your review. That's pretty much it, guys, for our show today. We thank you very much, JJ, Benioff and Weiss, Shmee. Who was the last person? Was it Ryan? Was it Ryan Johnson?
George.
George. I'm sorry. George. Thank you very much for watching and listening to this episode. As always, tell us your thoughts in the comment section down below. We would love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions on what we talk about and things we could talk about next time.
Yeah.
We thank you very much, and may the Force be with you.
Always.